What are your earliest memories of the Memo?
My earliest memories of the Memo. Well, my earliest memories would have been coming to the cinema with my mother during the Second World War, and I remember we saw a film with Betty Grable, and everybody my age would know exactly who Betty Grable was, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It was Technicolor, and I do remember that we would take an exit out of, if you're looking at the screen, it was on the left-hand side at the back, and we would come out of that door there to a fire escape. And I was always terrified because you could see through the stairs, the ironwork, and we would get down to the bottom there, and we would make a shortcut across to get into Penny Street, to get home to Penny Street. And I always remember that was a bit of an ordeal for me to walk down that staircase.
What sort of events did you attend when you were younger?
What sort of
Events, or like?
Well, that's a very difficult one for me to answer because I was moving about such a lot, because as a child I was back and forth from London, as I explained earlier, to get out of the way of the Blitz. But I do remember Christmas parties being put on. I remember that, but not anything specific other than that when I was young. As I got to teenage, I used to come down on holidays, because at the end of the war we went back to live in Surrey, and so I used to come back down for my holidays, and I used to like to come up here for the dance and anything that was going on. Yes.
Did you ever belong to a group or society based in the Memo?
Well, I just spent the last 30 years, I think I finished with 18 months ago I left the choir, but I was about 30 years with the choir, and we were coming and rehearsing in here, yes. Yeah,
Have you ever
which I loved.
Have you ever seen anyone famous at the Memo?
Oh, well, Prince Charles, the Lord Lieutenant, Max Boyce, oh dear, can you help me out with this rugby player's name? Is it Rupert Moon? Oh dear, better edit that. I can't remember his name. Yeah, Tom Jones came here, and a chap called Tim Jones, who was very much like him. Yes. So, and Joe Loss and his band, they were very, very famous. And in 1959 he came here, and he was a big band from London, and he packed the place out, absolutely put special buses on to tote everybody home. Yes.
Did anything significant happen to you at the Memo, like meeting your spouse?
Yes, I did meet my spouse, and we've just celebrated our 58th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Oh.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
Only to try and stress how important this building is. As I've said at length earlier on, the effort that was put into building it and creating it in the first place for the community in this area and outlying areas, the effort was fantastic. And then with the demise of the pits and the income wasn't there anymore, it went downhill, and it was going to be a tragedy. It was terrible if it had been pulled down. So the community got together and decided that our Memo was not going to be for a car park, and we were going to save it. So I just hope that continues, that feeling to make sure that this place succeeds and is there as a place for the people of all ages and of all religions and what have you. Everybody can come and enjoy being at the Memo.
One final question. Why did you become a trustee at the Memo?
I became a trustee. Well, first of all, I was on the committee of the Friends of Newbridge Memo because there was only one trustee then. So I'd been with the Memo since then, and it was literally to do exactly as I just said, to try and make sure that this place is sustainable, that it's here for all the different generations, for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, for everybody to come and share and enjoy. It's got to be a happy place, and that's what I would like to see happen.